Dimansyon is on the air. We are really thrilled to be able to offer you this program. We say good evening or good morning, depending on when you are listening to this program. It's a real pleasure to be able to talk to you. We don't take that for granted. Dimansyon is a multi-dimensional show, and we touch five dimensions. And like we say, we are playing five-dimensional chess. And now we say that jokingly, but we do social issues. We do musical issues. We do music. We are really thrilled. We are really excited about music. We could we could be musical animals, but no, we would not. We're trying to do music the right way. And then we do theology. We talk about theological issues that relate to our relation with God and with each other. Then we talk about technology, especially computer science technology. It's also one of our strong suits. And then the last dimension is linguistics, because we care for the languages that the Haitian and Haitian friends speak, namely English, Creole, and French. So in that, in the linguistics aspect, we play in three dimensions: uh, English, French, and Creole. So what do we have for you tonight? We have a seven points in the program. We start with some music. We are introducing to our listeners a new artist, and Dimansyon. She's not a new artist, but en Dimansyon, she's a new person. We introduced her yesterday, and we are going to have two numbers by her tonight. And this is in preparation for something that we'll announce at the end of the broadcast. So we're gonna listen to that artist. Well, I'll name her when the time comes. Then we talk about HCDF. We will also touch on a sliver of light. Then we talk about Kiss KI, and then we're back to our artist with another piece, and then the piece of resistance, la pièce de résistance, comme on dit en français, et it's the talk about Signalgate, but we are going to use the backdrop of World War II, of the Enigma machine, of Alan Turing, and we are going to relate those topics with Signalgate, which is a growing scandal. That's gonna take the bulk of our time. And once we do that, and then we'll close with an announcement of what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's what we got for you today. And before we dive into the program proper, we are going to play a little commercial for our friend, our childhood friend. His name is Michel Vielo, or Cholo Vielo for the people close to him. And we are going to just play that little commercial about his Holy Infant Primary Care and Wellness Center. Listen to that.
Haitians in Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie, Stewart, Vero Beach, Indiantown, Jensen Beach, your doctor has arrived. She is none other than Dr. Ana Jose Chanwan, who is waiting for you at Holy Infant Primary Care and Wellness Center at 2215 Nebraska Avenue, Suite 3E in Fort Pierce, right next to Lawnwood Hospital. Dr. Ana Jose thoroughly checks everything to give you top-notch care, and if she needs to refer you to a specialist, it will be done immediately. She accepts Medicare, Medicaid, and other insurances as well. If you don't have insurance, don't worry, Dr. Ana is here to serve you. Call 772-801-5475 to make your appointment. You will receive the best welcome and the best service at Holy Infant Primary Care and Wellness Center. We speak English, French, Spanish, and Creole is our strong suit. 772-801-5475.
5475. That's the last four of the number for Holy Infant Primary Care and Wellness Center. Let's listen now to our artist. Her name is Connie Thermidor. Connie Thermidor. She's a pianist. She was classically trained, and she uses her voice to enhance uh, her piano playing, or we could have it the other way also. Her piano playing enhances her voice. It's a synergy between the two, and but she's not gonna play the piano in this piece, or just gonna be a band piece that she's gonna sing, and she's gonna sing in Creole, of course. She sings in English also, but we are just playing the Creole songs right now. And the first one that we are going to play for you, the title is Jésus, Jésus, and then the subtitle is Mon piano et moi, my piano and I, Connie Thermidor.
Tête chargée, oula, les kem débrasés, oula, c'est où répondre moi, l'aime crier, non détresse moi, bon Dieu qui s'am caillé, sans vous. Par contre et ma cour. Jésus, Jésus, ma mère jusqu'à la
Candide Thermidor, Jésus, Jésus. It's a nice piece. It's a nice voice. So she's she certainly is talented both on the piano and with her voice. She has great vocals. Um, so we have another piece that we'll play by her in a few minutes. But for the time being, let's talk about HCDF. What is HCDF? HCDF is well, disclaimer first. Disclaimer. I am the chairman of the board of HCDF. So there you have it. HCDF is a non-governmental agency in Haiti, in the city of Fond-de-Blanc. It was founded by my friend Jean Thomas in the 80s, early 80s, and it's been doing good work in Fond-de-Blanc since then. And they've done waterworks, they've done tree planting, they've done farming, help people with farming, and they've done a great school called L'Exode. You can check them out on their website, hcdf.org, and we wholeheartedly recommend this organization that has been doing great work in Haiti, HCDF. All right, so now there is a sliver of light, and there is certainly a sliver of light in the midst of an apparently bleak situation for the people who came through Biden's humanitarian parole. They were able to leave Haiti. There were people from Cuba, Venezuela, Haiti, and another country. I'm drawing a blank on that other country. I'll tell you what it is in a few minutes. But those countries. I can get back to those countries because the initials for these countries are CHNNV. Okay, CHNV, and CHNV. C stands for Cuba, H stands for Haiti, N stands for Nicaragua, and V stands for Venezuela. So those nationals were allowed to come to flee, to flee violence from their country, so that they could prevent people from basically taking to the seas and coming illegally. So Biden allowed them to come. So this is what we call a humanitarian parole. And now Trump came and says, okay, you guys are gonna be legal. They came legally, and then Trump declared them illegal and gave them 30 days to leave the country. And it was obviously something that is of a nightmare for the people who came and who started getting used to the American life, got jobs, went to school, and basically were settling down. And now Trump says, you gotta leave. So and it was bleak for them. But there was an organization called the Justice Action Center that brought a lawsuit against that action that Trump wants to take. And there is a district judge who's handling the case. She's in Boston. It's a she, and him is Indira Talwani. And the lawyers who are handling the case from the Justice Action Center, they expressed optimism that Talwani might issue a temporary protective order before the next hearing, which is on April 7th. Before or on April 7th. And the lawyers noted that she appeared troubled by the government's arguments. So we are praying that she issues that protective order so that these people are not thrown out of this country just because somebody wants to check a box. That's all it is, check a box. Hopefully this judge will come through for us. So the judge is likely to determine at the next hearing whether the court will stop the administration from revoking the program while the case proceeds. Okay, so let's continue praying so that things will turn out positively for the people in this program. So let's quickly talk to you about KISS-KI. KISS-KI is our organization. It's a business organization that is specializing in technology, computer technology, and this KISS-KI organization is underwriting this show. It's underwriting Dimansyon. I'm sorry, Dimansyon. It's underwriting Dimansyon. KISS-KI is a play on the word Quisqueya, which is the name that was given to Haiti by the Tainos, the ones that were pretty much extinct by the Spaniards. Anyways, that's the name that was given to the land, and now we honor the Tainos and we honor the land by using that name, by playing on the word AI also, because we specialize in AI. So KISS-KI, it's very meaningful to us. It not only has reference to the country of Haiti, but also it has reference to AI. So we have the best of both worlds. KISS-KI. So we want to do we're doing anything that has to do with computer technology, a website, mobile applications, AI training. You want to do podcasts, you want to do videos, you want to do church AI, anything that has to do with software, we can do at KISS-KI. You can call us at 772-299-8241. KISS-KI. Let's listen again to Madame Connie Temidor, and the song that she's gonna do for us right now is titled Ou c'est tout pour moi. You're everything to me. Everything to me, Madame Connie Temidor.
Je sais non confiance moyenne. Si pas qu'elle m'a fin déraillé. La vie a fin bouleversée. Problème yo pas vrai bon yo souffre. Sorti me secouer moi tout monter. Côté justice qui ça wapti ouais ou c'est tout pour moi à quitter nous pas dis qui ça non, t'en prie la veille. Nettoyer qu'elle fait vin pop, retirer non, moi ça qui trop. Mais tu m'y en gens qui font plaisir, c'est tout désir. C'est tout désir, moi. Jésus, t'as pris la veille. Jésus tendait. Pas qu'on ait un entier, c'est au seul moi qu'on est, tant pis, c'est tout. Pas quitter nos pas, dis-moi qui ça fait, qui ça fait. C'est tout pour moi, pas quitter nos pas, dis-moi qui ça fait. Pas quitter moi, j'aimerais ces souliers. J'aimerais ces souliers. Oh, c'est tout pour moi. C'est tout pour moi. Pas quitter moi. Dis-moi qui ça va faire. Dis-moi qui ça va faire. C'est tout pour moi. C'est tout pour moi. Tu peux pas quitter moi. Non, 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 non. J'aimerais ces souliers. Moi pas qu'on ait en l'entier, c'est où c'est moi qu'on est, tant pis, tant pis, oh, souliers. Oh, c'est moi gagné, tant pis,
Madame Connie Thermidor, golden voice, very skilled on the piano, and we are going to have her tomorrow as in our practice session tomorrow. So it should be a great practice session for tomorrow. I'll give more details at the end of the show. Let's dive into our main topic, the main course, like they say. And the main course is World War II, Enigma Machine, Alan Turing, AI, and Signalgate. World War II, Enigma Machine, Alan Turing, Signalgate, and AI. So this is what we're going to talk about. What are the parallels into these topics? There are some parallels. But let's start by saying that in the annals of cryptography, what is cryptography? It's the It's a field in computer science that is devoted to securing communications through codes and ciphers. For example, you might see something that looks like random characters. They don't mean anything to you. They come as if they don't have any meaning, but yet they are encrypted so that you cannot read them. So the field of cryptography is something that is very dear to computer science, and it is right now what is securing the web. For example, when you go to buy something, for example, okay, you have to enter your name, you have to enter your password into a field, and then when you buy, you have to enter your credit card. You know that information could be read, because the information goes from server from gateway to gateway, and people at the gateway could basically snoop on what's going through the gateway, and then if your information was sent in clear text, then people could get your password, they could get your email address, they could get your credit card number, they could get your CCV, your code, and everything else. So what is happening on your computer before the information is sent out until it reaches its final destination, it is encrypted. It is encrypted. So things are, they use some codes that are very strong, so that when people are reading what is being sent, they cannot make sense of it. It would take them sometimes thousands of years to really decrypt what is being sent, depending on the strength of the code and the cipher. So the field of cryptography is the ability to encrypt information that is being sent away. Okay, so in the annals of cryptography, few names shine better than Alan Turing. He worked during World War II, and he worked in breaking the cipher of the Nazis. It was called Enigma code. So his work in deciphering that Enigma code is not only legendary, but his work also changed the course of the war, and by extension, the course of human history. So hold that thought there, cryptography, what it means to computer science, and what Alan Turing did in cryptography. So hold that thought right there. Now let's fast forward to 2025. In 2025, we find ourselves confronting a scandal of staggering irony. Top officials in the Trump administrations are discussing highly sensitive military operation on the encrypted messaging app Signal. So it is encrypted, but it is an app that is created not for national security, but secure civil and journalistic communication. That's its main use, its usage. But yet, top officials in the Trump administrations are chatting, discussing highly sensitive military operations on Signal. So let's go back to Alan Turing. So what do Alan Turing and the Enigma machine and the current Signal fiasco have in common? Well, they have more than one might expect. Because Alan Turing was more than just a mathematician. Alan Turing was a hero. He was a visionary, and he was arguably the father of modern computer science. And Alan Turing was tasked with the impossible. he and his team at Bletchley Park. They developed the bomb machine, and the bombs machine task was to decipher the Enigma code used by the Nazis. So what was the Enigma code? It was a code that was used by the Germans to communicate with their soldiers and with their generals in the field, to tell them what they're gonna do, where to do it, where to drop bombs and things like that. So the information was coded. It was encrypted. It was encrypted by the Enigma machine. It was on a typewriter, but yet what was typed from the German was encrypted, and when people could snoop on what on the communications, but what you see was just garbage, and you could not make out what was being said. So the Enigma machine was encrypting the conversation from the Nazis. So Alan Turing assembled a team that was composed of brilliant cryptanalysts. Cryptanalysts are people who are using cryptography, trying to generate them, trying to break them. It was made of engineers, linguists, of course, because it was about language. They were talking. Those cables were being sent and were being deciphered by the Nazis easily, but the Allied couldn't see anything about them. Okay, and that team also was made of puzzle solvers, and they worked in secret under pressure. So Turing had some groundbreaking theories, and those theories laid the foundation for the digital computer age and gave birth to the field of artificial intelligence. So Alan Turing was not too shabby. If we're talking about artificial intelligence today, it is thanks to Alan Turing. As a matter of fact, when we hear about Turing test and artificial intelligence, it is owed to Turing. And people are discussing about the Turing test today. And if you want to know more about Alan Turing, there's a film that captured his life. Of course, there's a bit of fiction there, but the storyline is pretty much close to what happened in real life. And the movie is called The Imitation Game. So check this out, and you'll see. You'll be amazed of what was done in World War II by this guy and his team. So this imitation game reminds us of how brilliance and persecution can tragically coexist. Okay, so Turing cracked the Nazis' code, and the Nazis believed that it was unbreakable. Enigma messages were meticulously scrambled by a mechanical marvel thought to be impregnable. But yet, human patterns, shortcuts, and arrogance opened the door to its defeat. So Turing, with the help of his team, used early computing machines and logical deductions to decipher the code, and they shortened the war by an estimated 2 years. 2 years, and that saved millions of lives. So that feat was amazing, what Turing was able to do in World War II with his knowledge of computer science, early computer science, albeit. But yet that was used to break the Enigma machine's code. And today, the intelligence business is digital. It's done in computers. At the time of World War II, the Enigma machine was just a typewriter. Germans typed German, but the typewriter typed something else. It typed something else that was thought to be unbreakable. So from typewriter to computer science, the only thing that's common is the keyboard. The keyboard, but now the keyboard is about can be obsolete because you can talk to the computer now. You can talk to the computer and the computer will understand what you say, and you can still you can even do faster than you could do with the keyboard. But anyways, keyboard in 1945, keyboard in 2025. So still there. Keyboard has a long life. Okay, so intelligent business is done with digital, and it is rooted in computer science and powered by algorithms. Algorithms is, the rundown, all the steps that are to be taken to solve a problem. Okay, they are listed. Do this, that, and the other. That is called algorithm. Okay, do that 10 times, do that 20 times, or whatever. This is an algorithm. And just like in Turing's time, all nations are working around the clock to break each other's code because everything is encrypted. And don't be fooled. People are trying to break into your computer. They are trying to break into your code. This is why you need to update your computer from time to time so that the new codes, the stronger encryption can be used and prevent people from breaking into your computer. So it is computer science, it is algorithms that are making things happen. And in 2015, I had the privilege of witnessing this intellectual arms race firsthand while I was supporting the ICPC, the International Collegiate Programming Contest in Morocco, Marrakesh, as an IBM representative. So I witnessed kids fighting in that computer science World Cup, pretty much. And in that World Cup, the Russians dominated the competition. And they've done that for a while. And they still are dominating that competition. So the young coders, young Russian coders, they were solving problems in that competition at blistering speed. And that reminded me of Turing himself. But now they even have more hardware than Turing. Turing had just rudimentary computer devices, but they have sophisticated devices. Today, your phone is a computer, if you didn't know that. Everything that is happening on your phone, it is a program that is running, a computer program that is running. Could you imagine what Turing could have done if he had at his disposal all those devices? Amazing. So the young coders now, they have more than Turing had in their cyber arsenals. So we call them modern day Turings, those young coders from Russia and America. But again, the Russians, they dominated the competition. They beat up everybody, and they've been doing that over the last few years. Okay, so those modern Turings, they are not just solving puzzles, they are laying siege to encrypted systems around the world, namely Signal. They're trying to break into Signal too. Okay, anything that is computer, people are trying to break into them. So now let's consider the present time. The Trump administration National Security Council was chatting. This can't be true, but it is true. National security team is chatting on Signal. So that's why we're talking about Signalgate. Signalgate. It's a group chat among high-ranking U.S. officials discussing sensitive military operations. Now, let's talk about who was the main figures in that chat. Okay, the top guy was Vice President J.D. Vance. He was in the discussion. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and he shared detailed plans for strikes on Houthis in Yemen. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Little Marco like Trump called him, he was on the chat in the discussions. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, he was the one who created the group. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, she was in the chat. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, he was in the chat. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, was in the chat. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, strong stance on immigration, was on the chat. And the fly on the wall was journalist Jeffrey Goldberg. He wasn't supposed to be there in the discussion of sensitive information, sensitive material. People need high clearance, top clearance to hear what's going on. But Jeffrey Goldberg was mistakenly invited by the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Jeffrey Goldberg is the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, and he was mistakenly added by Mike Waltz. So they discussed military operation. They were going to bomb the Houthis in Yemen, and the addition of Jeffrey Goldberg was a fatal mistake. Fatal mistake. And that reveals how vulnerable even secure systems can become when misused by humans. That breach, as comical as it may sound, had potentially deadly consequences because it exposed not only mission details, but reportedly was names. Even more alarmingly, that's even worse. The senior Middle East envoy, special Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, where do you think he was while he was chatting on Signal about military operation? Where do you think? Guess where you think this guy would be? That guy was in Moscow. Would you believe something like that? In Moscow, the most surveilled city in the world, or one of the most, where espionage is really powerful there. Steve Witkoff was chatting while in Moscow, while the national security team is discussing dropping bombs on Houthis. Uh, this this is this is like a movie. A movie. You know, when you see espionage movies, when you see people are, you know, uh, basically disguising themselves, you know, and all these things. Well, this is better than a movie. Steve Witkoff had the foolishness of being in Moscow while chatting on Signal about highly classified information. Now, let's not forget that in Russia there is the city of St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg is the birthplace of Vladimir Putin. But there's something else about St. Pete that is worth mentioning. In St. Pete, there are the troll farms, and cyber operatives known for their role in manipulating the 2016 election are in St. Pete. Those kids who were beating people left and right at that competitions, they were from St. Pete University. So I saw them with my own eyes when I was in Marrakesh. These guys, they were dead to mission. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a little story. When I was in Marrakesh and I was talking to the competitors, you know, because those were from the best universities in the world. You know, MIT got beat. You know, Princeton. You know, Harvard. By the way, there was nobody from Sorbonne. Okay, Sorbonne is the great university in Paris. No, France didn't have anybody at that competition. So this tells you how harsh it was to make it to the finals. You know, China universities were there. There was a student from Cuba, by the way, for representing the Caribbean, but they didn't go far. There was some kids from Argentina, Brazil, okay, India. But you know, the U.S. was represented by some good kids, but they were no match to the Russians. And those young kids, those young geniuses, they are also in St. Pete, and they're giving Vladimir Putin an advantage. So, I'm just gonna close the parenthesis because St. Pete, keep that in your mind because a lot of operations are going in St. Pete, espionage operation, and they are probably trying to crack Signal in St. Pete. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, these guys oblivious of those facts. They are happily chatting on Signal, and the guy is in Moscow, out of all places, chatting on Signal about top secret military operation. This is malpractice right there. Malpractice. So Signalgate is real. Is real. As a matter of fact, they are suing these guys. And right now, a judge has just sent a memo to the national security team to preserve everything that was done on that chat. Preserve them. All right. So, what should have been a highly controlled exchange of military planning became instead a digital water cooler moment. People are talking about it. The public didn't have to hack into anything because it was handed to it on a silver platter inadvertently by inviting Jeffrey Goldberg to observe and read about everything that was being planned. Now, Signal, like Enigma, is only secure as the people using it. And therein lies the irony. Just as the Allies exploited the Nazis' beliefs in Enigma's invincibility, today's adversary, from foreign governments to rogue cyber actors, watch closely as American leaders casually treat national security like a group text. People are watching. And that's the weak link, the weakest link. The tools are modern, but the mistakes are ancient. Signal is powerful. They say it has the strongest encryption in the industry. But it was never designed to carry the burden of military strategy. It was built to protect civil rights activists, whistleblowers, and journalists, people at risk in authoritarian regimes. When you see it being used to coordinate missile strikes, it's like watching someone use a bike helmet for a bulletproof vest. It is moronic to do that. Crazy. It's the wrong tool for the wrong threat. And while signal encryption is among the best, like I said, code breaking effort trying to penetrate those encrypted systems, they are going on as we speak now. As I'm speaking now, people are trying to get into my computer. And they're trying to get into yours too. This is why you need to have good antivirus and you need to have good encryption on your computer. As with Enigma, it is only a matter of time before a combination of human error, like it was done in that Signalgate, and computational advances render what is secure today vulnerable tomorrow. Update your systems with the latest so that people don't take you for a ride. So the Signal incident is more than a gaffe. It's more than a gaffe. It's a case study in how trust and technology can replace operational discipline. I would say trust and technology, and also laziness. Trust and technology that makes you become lazy. Oh, that's kind of the Signal. It's encrypted. Nobody can see that. Lazy, because to conduct war planning, to conduct strikes planning, you need to be in a skiff. It's a special facility. Because when you get into that facility, before you get in there, they take your phone away from you. You cannot get in there with your phone so that you can, photograph anything. You cannot photograph anything. You go to discuss these things in that secure room. But yet, these guys are around the world. They are just chatting and they're discussing highly classified matters. So, it's also a reminder that no matter advanced the encryption, it is never truly beyond reach, especially when the enemy isn't breaking the code, but it is reading over your shoulder. It could be that somebody was reading the planes over Witkoff's shoulder while he was in Moscow. What I like about the espionage movies was that sometimes they send a girl, enticing girl, against the guy. He's trained to disregard, he's trained to dismiss her. But some guys might drop their guard and they go and be with that woman and then they take him. So who knows who was with Witkoff when he was in Moscow chatting about striking the Houthis? Who knows who was there? Who knows who was reading over his shoulders? In that case, he would have become the weakest link. Not counting that Steve Goldberg, who was not supposed, Jeffrey Goldberg, who was not supposed to be in the chat, was there. If Goldberg was a rogue actor, he could have sold that information for lots of money. Because 2 hours before the strike, he knew what was going on. This is the biggest mistake. You cannot divulge who you're going to strike. This is War 101. But yet, these guys were chatting, oblivious, and the vice president was there. This is beyond belief. Beyond belief. You know, the Signalgate scandal tells us something about the culture of security. We are going to say goodbye to the radio folks. But if you are on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be there with us. Okay, so that graph tells us something about the current culture of security. Whereas Turing operated in an environment where secrecy was paramount, because any breach could mean entire units lost, cities are destroyed, or campaigns are reversed. Any little mistake in secrecy during Turing's time was catastrophic. Like when he broke the Enigma code, the war was over. The Nazis lost. Because when they say, we're going to drop the bomb at such and such place, the Ally knew that and were ready to receive them. So it was game over when the Enigma code was broken. So when secrecy is broken, lives are lost, units are lost, cities are destroyed, or campaigns are reversed. But today, with digital convenience, that often trumps protocols. Because, oh man, it's so easy. We can talk. They won't know. They won't break into it like they did with Signal. So digital convenience trumps protocol. You are in meetings and phones are buzzing, messages are flying, even during briefings. And so the line between personal and professional communications, they blur even more with every app update. Expediency has replaced rigor. Let's do it quick. Now we don't have to be in this skiff. You can be in the White House, as in the case of J.D. Vance. You can be in DC, some building in DC. You can be in Las Vegas, Nevada. You can be even in Moscow. No problem. We're gonna chat. As if we're discussing a game. We're discussing a football game or a basketball game, or drinking buddies are basically chatting. That's how military operations are conducted today. And the other irony is these guys, almost all of them, who chastised Hillary Clinton for her private email server, and these guys now they are orchestrating airstrikes through a chat app. This is so ridiculous. Lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. And now they are conducting airstrikes. They're planning airstrikes through a chat app. A chat app, a commercial chat app, while a journalist who wasn't supposed to be there, who had no business being there, was invited. This is not a small scandal. This is a big scandal. Big scandal. You know, Alan Turing's ghost must be shaking in his grave, rolling over in his grave. Alan Turing taught us that encryption is not about perfection, but about process, vigilance, and respect for detail. Signal is a great tool, a brilliant tool, but it is not a battlefield terminal where things are impregnable. It is using Signal is a betrayal not only of intelligence protocol, but it is also a betrayal of historical memory. Knowing what happened with the Enigma machine should have been a warning to these guys who are supposed to know these things. High-level officials in an administration who should be abreast of what happened to the Nazis. The irony is it was also about encryption. The Enigma machine was encrypting the conversation, and Signal is encrypting the conversation, but Signal is not unbreakable, guys. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? And then there is AI. AI. It's worth mentioning that AI. It's worth remembering that Alan Turing was also a pioneer in artificial intelligence. Now, I'll give you a little story again. For my college days, I have 3 books that for some reason I didn't part with. The first book is Computability and Complexity in Formal Languages, Computer Science. And that book discusses Alan Turing's theories. Okay? So, the second book is Logical Foundations of Artificial Intelligence. And those books right now are on my shelves. Okay? For some reason, I kept them, not knowing how AI would break through in a mind-boggling way. Okay, so Turing and AI are, closely intertwined. And then the last book that I have on my shelf is a book on operation and supply chain operations. I didn't think, when I was doing computer science, as a fool, I didn't think that I needed to know how the supply chain works. But I kept the book, so I got to go back to that book and read what I was supposed to know and apply in my job. Anyways, so those 3 books are on my shelves. But the 2 that are interesting, the 2 that are applicable to this discussion are the first 2. Okay, where Alan Turing theories were discussed, computability and complexity, and then logical foundations of artificial intelligence. So, I'm saying this to say that Alan Turing is a pioneer in artificial intelligence. And like I said, the Turing test is still applicable in AI today. But today, perhaps the better question is whether humans are still thinking critically when using machines, we trust the app, we trust the encryption, but do we trust ourselves to use them wisely? This is why the question is, in this AI world, is whether humans are still thinking critically when using machines. Do you think critically when you are using machines? Because obviously these guys at the National Security Office were not thinking critically when they decided to use Signal to orchestrate airstrikes. So the question is, if you don't remember anything from what we said, take with you that question. Do humans think critically when using machines, as Turing advised us to do? Okay? Here's the question again. Do humans are still thinking critically when using machines? And I'll remind us of this question from time to time because it is applicable to everything that we do. Do we think critically when we are using machines? We trust the app, we trust the encryption, but do we trust ourselves to use them wisely? This scandal is not just about embarrassment. It is about vulnerability. It is about how the same overconfidence that doomed the Enigma machine is now embedded in the pockets of today's decision makers. The same overconfidence. It's about whether we've learned anything from the very men who built the foundations of modern computing and who understood better than most the cost of hubris. It's worth, let me say that again. It is about whether we've learned anything from the very men, talking about Alan Turing, the very men who built the foundations of modern computing and who understood better than most the cost of hubris. And the question is, what are high-ranking officials? What is a man one heartbeat away from the presidency doing discussing drone strikes in Signal chats? Again, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? How could they be so reckless? They should be held accountable. Not just because they made a mistake, but because they ignored the lessons of history. At the level, they should have known better. They should have known better. What would Turing say? Well, Turing would perhaps say, the weakest link is always human. The weakest link is always human. And if Turing said that, it'd be spot on. It'd be right if he said that. We've just proved it in that Signalgate. For Dimansyon, your chief podcaster, Marc-Arthur Pierre-Louis. And we are going to come back in about a few seconds. All right, this is our Dimension theme that is played on the guitar by yours truly, a little guitar, classical guitar rendition of our theme. Um, so talking about guitar, talking about music, tomorrow it's all gonna be about music, or mostly I would say 90% about music, because tomorrow we are going to have Madame Connie Thermidor in our practice session. She's gonna be. I have a piano. I have an upright piano in my house. I had it tuned yesterday. The guy came and tuned it. Cost me a pretty penny to tune it, but it is tuned. It is ready for Madame Connie Thermidor, who's gonna play some classical pieces, and he's going to play. He's gonna play some of her songs. He's gonna play some secular songs too. It's gonna be a treat for you tomorrow in Dimansyon in our practice in Dimansyon tomorrow. We can't wait to have Madame Connie Thermidor sing, play, and my guitar is going to be there too. I'm going to be playing with her, along with her, in some of the songs. I have one song that I have written a while back. I already sent the score to her, and she's gonna play that song. So it should be quite interesting tomorrow. And like I said before, Dimension, we have a 5-dimensional chess that we're playing here. It's not very common to see the chief podcaster, dabbling in so many things at the same time. Jack of all trades, master of none. Well, I take fun of myself. I don't take myself too seriously, but again, I think I can play a few little things that you can like, and I can write a few songs that you like also. So one of my songs is gonna be played in song by Connie with me on the guitar and her on the piano. We'll see. It might just be me on the guitar and her doing voice. It might just be voice and guitar, but it should be amazing tomorrow. Again, it's gonna be practice. We discuss the chords. We discuss, we can stop a song. We can restart a song. But anyways, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice because we've done it with our friend Kettler. We've done it with our friend Jonathan Lawrence, and then now it's time for Connie Thermidor to come live and do our practice session for tomorrow. So invite your friends. I'm gonna make the flyer tonight, and I'm gonna release it tonight, and I'm just gonna be also sending it tomorrow throughout the day. And we need to have like 1,000 people listening to this practice session. So do me a favor, invite your friends, invite your family to enjoy the talent of Madame Connie Thermidor on the piano and singing, and me strumming. strumming. I was gonna say in Creole, grage. On va le faire 2-3 grage. De m'instituer avec Madame Thermidor. We might have a bass. I don't know. My son Mike, he plays the bass. I asked her to play a couple. I don't know. He might join us. We don't know yet, but we'll see if Mikey will join us with the bass in some of those numbers. So it should be an interesting Dimension broadcast tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm excited to be on the show tomorrow, and I hope you are too. Good night or good day. We'll talk tomorrow. This is your friend Marc-Arthur Pierre-Louis pour Dimansyon. Good night. I love you.